Most of the time, the troubles that you have in finances is debt. The first debt that we tackled after having 4 kids, we needed the pimp ride, right? The minivan.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
The pimp ride.
yeah. Now we had the minivan, but now we had another payment.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. There are just so many things that add up.
Yeah.
We still had 4 years on it, and we learned that we could pay it off faster. It took us 4 months.
To
Oh,
pay it
wow.
off?
Yeah.
No way.
How
To pay it
the
off.
hell did you do that?
Right. And that's what we teach.
Yeah.
You know, my wife's student loan still had, I believe, like 18 years on it.
Wow.
And we did it in 2.
No way.
All right, I need sign up for that. I mean,
Yeah.
we've been able to kill a lot of our bad debt through real estate, but this is still, I'm sure, valuable tools to whatever you choose to do.
Definitely.
Welcome to the Deals and Aloha Podcast, where we talk about real estate deals to leave a lasting impact on our audience and, of course, spread aloha. You can find us on social media platforms at Kamohai and Tristan. Let's go.
Today, we have somebody we looked up to when we first started, so it's very full circle to have him here. We have Richie Baguio from High Property Innovations. He has done all kinds of cool stuff.
All the things.
Yeah, from commercial to residential to syndications to development, all the things. So let's just jump in. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, right on, dude. Super stoked to have you on the show today.
I know.
Me too. Super stoked to be here. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Right on, right on.
So, I mean, how we start it all is, how did you get into real estate?
I got into real estate not knowing I was in real estate. My parents, the house that we lived in when I guess I was born and raised there, they jacked it up and built the bottom and rented that out. We were living upstairs. And my dad bought another property, built a brand new house, Filipino house in Kalihi.
There you go.
Yeah.
Built that house. So from when I was young, I had to go and work at the house.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and then we moved to that house. Now the other house was all rental. The new house, rent the bottom out, live upstairs.
Wow.
And he did it again. So I've always only known new houses to live in.
Yeah.
Right.
So your dad was basically house hacking.
House hacking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
House hacking.
so
It's
cool.
house hacking before it was probably called house
Before
hacking.
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
a thing. So you
Yeah.
just grew up, it's all you knew.
Yeah. And I didn't know. It was just something I grew up in.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Okay, so you grew up in that kind of environment. When did you make the shift or decide hey, I want to do this too?
Yeah, that's interesting because that was only recently. I thought I was going to work forever, retire.
Yeah.
So I'm an aircraft mechanic by trade.
Okay.
So I worked for Aloha Airlines and they shut down in 2008. And then I built custom cars.
Yep.
So I was doing that when the airline shut down. And it was about a year later where I actually went back to work. I worked at a electric power plant out in Campbell.
Okay.
And during that time, we learned about 101 Financial.
Okay.
So with 101 Financial, after becoming students and learning the systems, I thought I was smart with money.
There you go.
April of 2015. By the time October of 2015 came, I quit my W-2.
Wow.
Yeah. But really no plan. The plan was I was going to build custom cars forever.
Right.
Yeah. And then did it for 2 years. But got into real estate because I noticed that all of the mentors that we had were all in real estate. Yeah, so I guess it was a natural progression, was just getting into real estate. And I guess it was already in my blood without knowing it.
Right. You had grown up in it, but you didn't realize the benefits that was going to bring you down the line.
Yeah.
That's super, super cool.
But it sounds so before you just understood, okay, real estate's the way I want to go, it sounds like you started down financial education with 101 Financial. And so for people that don't know what that is, can you kind of explain what that is? Because we only know about it. We don't know all the...
We know a lot of people that have started there and then ended up in real estate.
Right.
So I don't even know exactly what it is.
So give us a tea.
Man, it's the way we're passionate about real estate. I'm passionate about that company.
Nice.
After learning the systems, being a good student, the progression was to start teaching it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we didn't want to, because we just were focused on just our finances, right? So,
Right.
but our instructor's like, yeah, you guys would be good teaching this to other people.
Mm.
And then after a while, it's like, I should be teaching this to my family.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we decided to become coaches, instructors. Fast forward, not all students are good, but I have about 185 students.
Wow.
Wow.
I didn't even realize that.
So you do that right now?
Yeah,
You
still.
still do
Oh,
that.
I
Still
You're
do that.
still
no
super involved in
idea.
that. That's
not,
awesome.
Not super involved because of the time splits with real estate now. I have to be selective.
Mhm.
So I want to work with students who want to work with themselves.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
How did you even find 101 Financial? Like, what does that sound like? You know what I mean? You got your car business running, and then
You were still
you were like
working.
searching for it, or did somebody reach out to you?
Power of social media.
No way.
My wife came home one day and said, I seen this post from our instructor, and wasn't our instructor then, but she said, take a look at it. So I searched it online. There was a video online. I watched it, and I was like, man, I'm a numbers person, so it made sense.
Yeah.
I said, okay, I gotta go see a live presentation or see what this is really about.
Right.
And so 101 Financial is an education piece.
Yeah.
We don't sell you anything. It's teaching you something.
Right.
Mm.
And so it's just teaching you a different way to bank and manage your money.
Okay.
So we became students. We did well, paying things off, because most of the time the troubles that you have with finances is debt.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the first debt that we tackled, after having 4 kids, we needed the pimp ride, right? The minivan.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The pimp ride.
yeah. So it's now we had the minivan, but now we had another payment.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. There are just so many things that add up.
Yeah.
We still had 4 years on it, and we learned that we could pay it off faster. It took us 4 months.
To
Oh,
pay it
wow.
off?
Yeah.
No way.
How
pay it
the
off.
hell did you do that?
Right. And that's what we teach.
Yeah.
Mm.
My wife's student loan still had, I believe, like 18 years on it.
Wow.
Mhm.
And we did it in 2.
No way.
All right, let's sign up for that. I mean,
Yeah.
we've been able to kill a lot of our bad debt through real estate, but this is still, I'm sure, valuable tools to whatever you choose to do.
Definitely. I always go back to, we can do well with real estate, but if we add this piece on top of it, we can do a lot better. Because you made enough money to pay off your debts. Because real estate, you can reap rewards, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Big rewards sometimes.
Yes.
But you're still, think about it, you're still making the income to pay this off, right?
Right.
You're still conventionally paying off the debt. It's just that you have more money to do
Right.
it with.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But how about the people that don't have that kind of income? How are they able to do it?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's so interesting, because you think about it, really, you can make more money, but if you don't know how to make wise financial decisions,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. You're going to put yourself in the exact same situation.
Well,
So,
I want to pay off my mortgage in like 5 years.
Yeah. So that was the reason why I was able to leave my W-2 job.
Wow.
It's because I learned we call it 101 advance,
Okay.
right? It's leveraging something else to pay off your mortgage. So, we understand first lien, second lien, and all
Yeah.
those things,
Yeah.
right? And conventional mortgage, amortized interest.
Yeah.
But when October hit, before October, I forced myself to learn that 101 advanced system. And so we were able to pay off our first lien mortgage
Wow.
in the 4 months that I was a student.
That's amazing.
what?
So that's why it's like, hey, I don't have that conventional mortgage anymore.
Right.
I don't need this income. Because the guys at my workplace they thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
I'm
Because
sure.
everyone there made anywhere from 85 to like
Yeah, you
150,000.
made good money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make good money. And it's like,
Yeah.
you're going to leave this?
Right. Right.
And they're like, you're stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. The financial piece, we all can do better if we learn something else. Because we can make good money in real estate,
Yeah.
but let's leverage it a different way than the
Yeah.
conventional way.
Right. Yeah. We're all about creativity.
No, totally. And it's all about, it doesn't matter how much money you make. If you make $10 and you're able to manage that well, then you'll be able to manage 100 and 1,000 and 100,000, so it's about how money management skills and then how much money you actually keep.
That's what it is. It's what you keep,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
how much you make.
Right.
Yeah.
Because why would someone that makes $30,000? Because we have students, right? They're making half as much as someone making more. But why are they doing better financially?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Because they have the tools that you guys teach them to be able to do that. That's super cool.
So I guess a shameless plug on 101. How do people sign up for that? Like, how do people do it?
Yeah, so I have a website too with 101. So my website is instructors at 101financial.com/RJG Baguio, Baguio.
Nice.
Bango. There you go. But he only wants to work with you if you actually take action.
Yeah. Don't waste his time.
Don't waste. He's a busy guy. I love that. No, for real. And 101 Financial and just I've seen what people in that program have just, it's more like a fast track.
It is definitely a fast track.
You know, and
Definitely.
I've seen where these people are doing things and have access to information and things where I'm like, okay, we don't know something and we need to know it. What drew you to the industry was obviously 101 Financial and then watching your dad be in it. So like, what was that turning point? What was the first thing you did? How did you actually get immersed in real estate?
Well, first thing was growing up only living in new houses.
Mm-hmm.
So it was natural for me to live in a new house. So I bought vacant land.
Oh, okay.
My wife and I, we bought vacant land. And I was telling Kawahai that we had the opportunity to design, and I drew the plans.
Wow, that is so cool.
It's wild, right?
Yeah.
So it was virgin land, you know, so never had a house on it. I have all original neighbors from, 50 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're the youngest ones on the street. You know, everyone's already retired,
Nice.
but grew up in new houses, and I still live in that house now. So that was the first thing when it came to real estate. So that's my first development, I guess.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But first investment in real estate was private money lending.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So we had a little bit of funds to lend. We lent to a flipper developer, and that took a little while, but we got our money and our interest back.
Nice.
And then so the next time we had an opportunity to lend, we did it again, but exponentially more.
Right.
So we still private lend to this day.
Wow.
Nice.
So that's one of our avenues of investing.
Passive
Yeah.
income.
Passive
It's
income.
another income stream.
Yeah.
Totally.
And so what drew you to the private lending aspect of it?
It's the making your money work for you.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things we learned too with 101 is, it's one of my old coworkers called every dollar his soldier.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Dude, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you
Put your soldiers to work, right?
if you start thinking about it that way, it's game changing.
Yeah, for sure. And private lending is totally passive. Not much involvement. I mean, 2 hours worth of paperwork, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. I think that's important to note. Like, that is a good way to get your feet wet too, right?
Definitely.
Totally.
Like it gives you a way into the business. You start to learn about how all the things works. You start to meet people that way too. And then you're not taking on like all the risk of like new construction or, that whole piece to it. So
Yeah. Well, you get the kind of return without any of the work. It's great.
Yeah, and that's why I'm passionate about private money lending, is because we have to borrow too now, right? So I'm on both sides of it.
Right.
So it's an easy conversation for me, for especially my new lenders,
Yeah.
because I'm a lender.
You're like,
Right.
you do this too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so all of the questions that they would have, the apprehension they have, right? Like the worries that they might have on their first try. So that's an added skill.
And a double-digit return. Can't do that.
Double-digit returns.
Okay, so private lending, you did that a few times, and then like how were you like, okay, I want to be in it? Like, what led to that?
Well, after seeing returns, you can still get some type of involvement, right?
Yeah.
When you're as a lender, because I offer my lenders, hey, you want to come along on this journey? Let's go.
Yeah,
Totally.
I'll show you.
Most don't.
No.
Right.
Most don't. They just want passive income.
Yeah.
But because I like the construction side and know a little bit about the construction side, I like seeing the projects move along. So after going through all these managing projects, things like that, I'm like, hey, I want to get on this side of it too.
Yeah.
So, got into a mentorship program, learned a little bit, but it was a really good mentorship. It just didn't give me enough to push me to pull trigger.
Right.
Yeah. So we did another one, then it was like, okay, now we have enough, I think, backing to go ahead, pull the trigger. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So that's how we just
Wow.
got
So
into
you
it.
got started.
So when did you do your first project on your own? Like, this is mine.
A flip project,
Yeah.
you mean?
Yeah, because you
So-
built your own house. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
You started doing that.
Yeah, and then project managed a couple of projects before us actually forming the entity and flipping our own project. But I don't remember if it was 17 or 18,
okay.
mid-year,
Yeah.
June, I think. It took me 5 months to lock the first one up.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a cool one too, because we all know Corey, right?
Yeah.
And he was my first call. You know, I was happy as shit that they took my
Yeah.
offer.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit of negotiation, and you know, MLS was really good still back then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So locked up the first deal, and you're so happy, like, hey, I bought this house for, you know, 800,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like 2 minutes later, it's like, holy shit, I bought this house for 800,000. Yeah. Yeah. So I went to
classic.
Corey, went to check out the property, said, yeah, you know what, this is a good deal.
Yeah.
And I needed help.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, let's do it. He did task me with some things, though. I did bring in a locked-in contract,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and he said, yeah, let's do an equity split, right? We can be partners on it
Yeah.
if you can bring in the funds.
Okay.
Gap funding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my gap funding was 190,000.
Mm-hmm.
No deal under my belt. Took me 3 days to raise it.
No way.
Because of 101 Financial.
And you know what the cool thing about that is? My lenders on that were all 101 Financial.
Amazing.
Nice.
2 of them were my students and 1 was another instructor.
No,
Yeah,
like
that's
that's
so awesome.
insane. You know what I mean?
Insanity.
That's
Yeah,
so
that's
cool.
super cool.
3 days. Is that a
3
record
days.
or no?
No, because we did one in 3 hours.
No. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You did one with Keone
Yeah.
in 3 hours,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
good.
That's so good.
So good.
Yeah.
Okay, so walk us through that first project. How?
Yeah, was it
How was
smooth?
that?
Was it easy?
It was
Had
rough.
struggles. Yeah.
It was rough. I thought it could have gone better. I think the contractors at that time were giving us some problems. And those are things that I didn't know yet.
Right.
You know, what problems are going to come about. You know, people not showing up.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you paid them already, but they didn't get to the work yet that
Yeah.
we agreed on.
Right.
So it was rough. It was a long one. At least I got my hands in it and was able to have a say.
Yeah.
And Corey was cool about it too, where he instructed the crew that I'm also one of the owners and could make calls.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, so
Right.
so that was good.
Yeah.
So that one went long. It actually went long. We eventually did finish it and sell it. But the crazy thing, I think, is after I got that one, I locked up another one like a month later.
Nice.
And then less than a month later, I locked up an off-market one.
Wow.
And a month after that, I locked up another one.
So you just had
Oh, wow.
momentum, just like boom.
Right from the gate.
Right from the
Yeah.
So 4 deals in my first year, and I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Corey kept telling me that, watch, after the first one, the second one will come.
Yeah.
But the third and fourth came right away too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you took those all down.
Took
and
it all
you just
down.
kind of were like, I imagine,
Figuring it out.
I imagine at one point you had a bunch going on at one time.
Yeah.
How was going from 0 to like all that?
4 at once.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Four at once.
Yeah,
Four at
yeah,
once.
yeah.
So that put me to a point where I understood I could do 4 at a time,
Yeah.
but now we're doing more at a time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I like the 4 at a time.
Yeah.
Trying to find your sweet spot where you're
Yeah.
like, okay, this is manageable. I can do
Yeah.
this. So did you find more crews? Like how
Yes.
was that?
Had to find more crews, more lenders. Yeah. And there's a story I'll share off air
Yeah.
about lenders.
Yeah.
We'll do it after this.
There you go.
Okay.
Love that.
Deal.
Let me just give a quick tip of that. I have my private pilot license too, and it's involved in that story.
Nice. Yeah. I love that. We gotta hear that one.
I know.
So I'll take it back a little bit. I did hear you mention education has been a part of your process, right? I mean, you guys reached out, you guys jumped into 101, and then you went into one mentorship and then another mentorship before you pulled the trigger. So, I mean, I think for some of our audience, that's where they're at in their investment journey. They're trying to search for education. Would you advise people to take some education before they jumped in, or what do you think? What are your kind of thoughts on education?
I think I have 2 opinions on that. It's, of course, yes, get some education.
Uh-huh.
A lot of times the education is what stops them is the cost of education.
Yeah.
And of course, we all know too that you can partner with people.
Right.
And I love partnerships. I have
Yep.
partners in a lot of my deals and their first time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can get it that way too, right? Because it's on the job. But if you can afford a mentorship, I think mentorships are definitely a good thing. It does cost a lot,
Yeah.
and most don't have the money for it, but we didn't have the money for it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
you're like maxing out like multiple credit cards to
Totally.
pay for
Right.
things. And
Yeah.
Totally.
Same here.
yeah, but it's worth it. I think before my first deal with everything, I think we were like 80,000 deep
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
education.
We were
Yeah.
right about there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't have changed it for the world. 'Cause
No.
It gave you the fundamentals you needed to kind of
Definitely.
at least take the action,
Yeah.
right? But one thing I want to point out is that you actually partnered on your first deal and the power of that, because he and I did not, and we caught cracks.
Yeah.
You don't
Major
know
cracks.
what you don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, why do you think partnering is so valuable to new investors or even seasoned investors?
Yeah. It's just, we all know it's just good to bounce things off of each other.
Yeah.
And to have someone backing you that's done it before, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
I was told that, my job is to help you do one and you get you on your own.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then we did 3 on our own after that.
Right.
So it's up to you how involved you want to get when you're in a deal.
Yeah.
So the way I like to teach it is I like to hand it off,
Mm-hmm.
because if there's a fire that needs to be put out, you're there to help them.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you can just step back and let them get burned a little bit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's always a good thing.
Yeah.
I
That's how
agree.
they learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do. You genuinely learn by doing. And I also believe that you don't retain information until you're in a situation where you need to know it.
Yeah.
Totally.
So,
Totally.
yeah, I mean, I always tell everybody, how do I get into real estate, or like, what do I do? We always go back to our situation. We're like, we would have partnered. We wish we took our first deal and brought it to you or brought it to Keone and been like, hey, help. We have no idea what we're doing, but we think this is a good deal. What do you guys think? Because you get to leverage their resources,
Yes.
contractors, lenders,
Yep.
paperwork, like just all the things,
And on top of that, all the experience. So, I mean, I feel like if we did because we caught cracks on our first 2 deals, like major cracks. And if we had gone the partnership route, or at least reached out to somebody that's experienced, I feel like our trajectory would have been different. Like we would have definitely grown a lot faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, hindsight's always 20/20.
Yep.
But I do not regret it, because we went and got a master's degree in flipping our first 6 months.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yep.
mean? So it's cool. Okay, so how many, that was in like 2018 you said?
Something like that.
Something like that. So you did like 4, just like boom.
Right off the bat. So partnered on the first one, and then the next 3 you did all by yourself.
Yes.
Oh, nice. So you really took that to heart. Like you got in there on that first one and like learned all the ropes well enough to feel comfortable to do the next ones.
I think it was because the first one wasn't even done, right? Still in
Yeah.
rehab
Right.
one month later, and I made it a point to not ask for help. So I didn't ask for help on how to raise funds again.
Right.
Yeah. Contractors. I didn't ask for help
Wow.
on the second one,
Mm.
Why? What do you think was going on?
because I know that learning by doing is what works.
Right. Right.
So
right. Right.
I had to feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had
to feel
no,
it.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel the struggle and then figure it out.
Feel the stress. Feel like, okay, I gotta act. I gotta figure this out right now.
Yeah.
So how did you how did those conversations go? Like, did you just start going to Home Depot and be like, hey, you're a contractor?
Yeah. Did you leverage like other resources? Like, how did you even do any of that
Or
stuff?
what helped you do that?
What helped me was the contractors working on the first project. I did talk to them, and then they sent us another project manager from the same company.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
So
Okay.
so that helped, because that was already a small relationship starting. But when it came to hard money, I just called my own.
Yeah. Nice.
Called my own and learned okay, we need this, but we need it yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? I already
Yeah.
gave it to you, or you know what?
Yeah.
Especially if you're new.
Right.
there's just so many things that require, but I wanted to feel all of that.
Yeah. And it gets easier every time.
Gets easier.
Right? And it's not as stressful every time.
Yeah. But just raise 190,000. How am I going to get more?
Right.
I don't know. I've maxed all my resources out. Yeah. And then,
but I was able to raise for those 4.
Right.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, but what I want to point out is that you leveraged the relationships that you already had, and then you just took action and you figured it out as you went.
Yeah.
And you didn't know where it was going to come from. You know what I mean? But you just took the next step that was in front of you.
Yes.
And I think that's important, just to take the next step and leverage your existing resources, because that's literally all you have to do.
Totally.
We complicate it. It's not that complicated.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like we could do a single podcast just on your private money lending experiences.
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard some stories. That's why I have heard some of the stories, and
Richie's
I feel like
tips for private lending.
Yeah, I feel like you guys have like this unique ability and skill set to raise money. I don't know exactly how it happens, but dude, we should totally sit down and just talk about private money. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so your first year, technically you did like 4, and then what was the next year after that?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's because we were getting started. It was just flipping first year, but second year is when syndication got introduced.
Nice
to us, right? So now we're doing syndication, rental, and so I think the next year maybe not too many, maybe 6 or 7 deals, but wasn't all flips.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. So you kept some, you syndicated, you were in some syndications. What is a syndication? Like what does that mean for the audience?
Yeah, so it's almost like private money lending, right? You're as a limited partner, you're investing funds into the company or to the general partners.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a hold time.
Right. Normally on substantially larger projects?
The ones that we're on, yes. The first one was a 460 unit apartment complex, like a $60 million purchase or something like that.
Nuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you get introduced to syndications? How did that work?
It was through the mentors.
Yeah.
That's what the big boys do.
Yeah, the big boys are doing.
Love that.
Yeah. So you still do syndications to this day?
Yes.
Why do you like them?
Again, it's passive. I mean, you do paperwork for a little while, and then the money's, of course, held up for a long time. But it's passive with good returns.
Right. Yeah, I love that. See, I think because the goal is always passive income, like for us too, right? Like we're doing everything that we're doing actively now to get to that passive place. So it sounds like you got into it pretty early, right? Like right on your second year. And I think that might have been because you started private money lending in the beginning, right? So you saw the value in it and the passiveness. I don't know if that's a word, but
sounds like it.
Yeah. So that's interesting and cool, because this is what I want to point out. I think a lot of people get stuck in doing it a certain way, or a way that in their head they think it has to be done, but you don't have to follow any strict schedule, right? So like, and I think of syndications like, okay, we'll probably get there in like 5 years, right? That's when we can do that, right? But it's important to note, second year you're already in syndications. I think that's super cool.
Well, I think that's the beauty of real estate just in general too, is there's so many different things you can do.
So many.
In real estate, you can do residential, you can do commercial, you can do buy and hold, you can flip, you can syndicate, and they all kind of achieve the same thing. It's just, what is your flavor? What do you gravitate towards? What do you like? And you can do them all. So that's why real estate's just so awesome. But for people like just starting out, what would you recommend?
Yeah, so I think flipping houses in Hawaii is still a great place to start. Entry fee is not so much, right? All of the 4 deals that I talked about, it's still OPM, no money out of your pocket.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, yes, you got to go to work, find some deals, find some money. But if you can get one successfully done, it's could propel you to the end game quicker.
Totally.
A lot of people start with the end game with the rentals and things like that. But I think if you flip in Hawaii, you can fast track to the end game.
We 100% agree with that. And that's why we flip. We flip so that we can go and buy and hold and go invest into things that will give us passive income. But flipping fast tracks you for sure. And we love doing it. It's
I love it.
Freaking cool.
Yeah. I want to get to a point where I can just do 1 or 2 a year.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is an important conversation, is especially when you're growing, is the quality of a deal too is much better than quantity. And I think we share that. But if you have all of your income streams happening and you only need to flip 2, right? Then you can still fulfill, like, because it's a passion of ours too, right? Like that process, seeing the houses go from not livable, vacant to beautiful, and then a new family being able to live in those houses again. Like I feel like you have to have a certain piece of that in you to be a successful flipper.
I think the ultimate goal is to flip houses just because you want to.
That's what I mean. It's just 1 or 2 because you want to.
Yeah. It's like a passion.
And if you don't, because you're off the island for a year, then
exactly.
Right.
Passive income is the end goal.
Yeah.
So what strategies are you kind of focused on right now? What are you working on right now?
So right now, it's of course still actively flipping. The goals change a little bit this year, so I don't think may not be buying any more single family rentals this year. We may be jumping into another syndication. And then there's another business that we're thinking of investing in.
Nice.
Yeah, so that, and still private lending. And we have our development that it should be starting within the next couple months.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit before we started about how I was scared of developments.
Yeah, he and I we know that we'll do it one day, but it's not like high on our priority list to tackle right now.
Yeah.
So what do you like about developments? Because you did it from the beginning.
Yeah. So, man, I think I'm good with my hands. I was always, right? Being a mechanic with the airlines, welding, machining, things like that. And the process, to me, development is the same thing. Even flipping is the same thing, just a different thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But you still have to go through a sequence and things like that. And you mentioned that it's from seeing it from nothing to something.
Yeah.
And I like the internal workings of things. So I love framing, roughing of electrical plumbing.
Yeah.
I just like seeing the process.
Totally.
Nice.
So I always hear like development is so much more risky, or like, you know what I mean, you can lose big. Is that
a thing?
Is that a thing? Like, or is the gain much higher? It's like, I don't know.
What's the draw?
You need to pull me into development. You need to explain why.
Yeah. No, well, I think, and we all know it, that we flip, right?
Yeah.
It's not easy.
No.
Yeah.
It gets easier.
Right.
But it's not easy. But we buy it. We don't know what we bought.
Yes.
We don't know what we bought. Things change quickly in a flip.
Yeah.
On the development, things change slowly in the beginning. But once you're done with permitting, you have approval to build.
Yeah.
Then you just...
It's quick.
Yeah.
And I guess that's true. You know exactly what you bought.
You know.
Because it's just grass.
Yes.
Or dirt.
Well, it's that too. And then you also know exactly what to expect when you build. Right. So we're not opening up any walls and figuring out all these new problems and trying to troubleshoot. You literally have your plan. You have your plans. And then you just make it happen.
That's so true.
Yeah.
So true. Okay, one day. What's this partner with you?
I know. We might just have to partner. Let's do it.
Yeah. So what does your business look like now? What does your team look like now?
It's a crazy team because it's just me.
No way.
But everyone that we work with, of course, is our team.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have great agents. We have great partners. Escrow officers, just everyone. And then of course our network. I consider all of us our team.
Yeah.
Because I could call you guys for anything.
Yeah.
Totally.
And same way.
Right.
Totally.
So it's just on my business right now. It's just me, but I can't do this by myself. The whole thing, right?
Right.
Like you're high property innovations, but there's so much people around you that make it successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're only as strong as your team.
Yeah.
Are you planning on growing it? Or are you like, I'm actually really good with where I am right now?
I want to grow it, but I have control issues.
Hey,
Everyone
so
does
does
that.
she.
Yeah. Right. So I do, and that's one of the things I wish I listened in the beginning is build that team already, but you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah,
Totally.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
easier said than done because turnover is hard and pouring into people is hard, and it has to be the right fit. And
Right.
you kind of have to go through several to even find that right fit.
Yeah.
That process is not fun.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's not fun. And then a lot of times it's easily like you can get frustrated really easy. Like you'll pour into somebody and then you build them up and then they leave and they go do it themselves. Right. So it's like a constant thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that it's important to do it if it aligns with your goals.
Right.
Honestly.
Yeah. I mean, even for us, I think we got to a point last year where we're like, okay, this is too much. There's too much. Like we found kind of like our sweet spot with how many houses we want to do. And that is in direct correlation with what our goals are, right? Like what exactly do we want, right? And for us, it's not like this crazy life with private jets. That's not what we want. We just want, right? We just want a good life for our kids and to be able to travel.
Yeah.
So,
and 9 to 2 is good. I'll take that.
Right? I know. You got to tell me about your 9 to 2 work day.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good segue. Like, what is a typical day for you?
Typical day is I'm one of the first ones to get up, get the meals packed for everyone if they need. Get the kids to school. I come back after dropping off kids to school, and I got 4 of them dropping off at 3 different schools at different times.
Dude.
Wow.
So I don't get back till about 8:30.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I may be checking emails already, things like that.
Right.
Maybe I have some breakfast, but 9 is when if I make an appointment, it's no earlier than 9.
Mm.
Yeah. Then I may be doing site visits throughout the day. Already phones blow up throughout the day.
Yeah.
But 2:00 rolls around, I'm picking kids up again.
Mm-hmm.
So picking them up, going back home, and then the other one is done, go back out, pick them up.
Yeah.
And then later on in the evening, the other one's done, pick them up. But coming home, after picking up the first 2, it's like, okay, now we got to get dinner started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All the things.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like your schedule is pretty similar to our schedule. It evolves and revolves around family and kids.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's something that will ever change for us because we don't want it to.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like he's just like you. He'll wake up before everybody. He does breakfast, takes the kids to school. And then a lot of people are like, oh, well, can we meet at 8:00 in the morning? And it's like, no.
Yeah.
We can't. Like we literally are dropping our kids off at school, and then we do what we need to do to prep us for the rest of the day. So we're just like you, where it's like the first appointment's like 9, maybe 10.
Yeah.
And like if it works for us, you can't compromise on family, morals, values.
No.
Yeah. I think we get into this industry to be able to do those things, right?
Exactly.
That's what I'm grateful for. We can.
Right, exactly. We're not sitting at a desk at 7 a.m. till 4 p.m, right? Yep. We have the time freedom to. I feel like it's a privilege to be able to take the kids to school, right? So we're in the same.
And pick them up, and then come home and don't get that mistaken for not hustling and having late nights and juggling all the things, but priorities are priorities.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to do it.
Right.
Someone's got to do it.
Totally.
And I'm glad that I have the flexibility to do so.
Right.
Yeah. I love that you both are like the dads that take the kids to school. And no, like for real, it doesn't exist that often. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
So it's so cool.
I pull up in the parking lot and there's just moms everywhere. I feel out of place sometimes, but it's hilarious.
I love it. I love it.
So wait, I have a question. So love your story up to this point. Like, what is it right now? you're finding the most success finding deals? Like, how does that work for you? Is it like, are you doing a ton of marketing? Are you finding deals through referrals? Like, what is the best, your best lead source right now?
I think my last 2 years were just referrals. It's been people.
Yeah.
People that, and I've said it before, let everybody know what you do, you know, and people come across deals all the time or see an ugly house.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's let them know, and most of my deals have been coming from people.
Love that.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the best way to find deals. It's free.
Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost any money.
Yeah.
And at the
Probably
end of
off market.
It's
Right.
probably off market, and that's like a lasting relationship that will come back around. So
Yeah.
that's one of our favorite ways to find deals.
Yeah. I mean, last year it was our best lead source was referrals, right? And I feel like it's a common theme in Hawaii.
Yeah.
That a lot of people that we know, a lot of the business they do is referral based,
Yeah.
right? So referrals.
one of them's my student. He bought me 2 off-market deals.
That's amazing.
No way, that's so cool.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah, unreal.
That's a power of relationships.
Yeah.
Like I felt like we were just talking about that yesterday. I don't know on what platform, but relationships are all you end up having in this world when all is said and done. Like, it's not the material shit. It's none of that. It's about, you know, your person-to-person conversation and connection that will last the test of time. How are people going to remember you, and how are you going to give back? So it's like value for value, and you can't negate that. Like, relationships are all you have, especially in Hawaii. I feel like it's so different here.
It is.
It is.
Because we're all family. You know, like it's a different type of just dynamic.
6 degrees go away in Hawaii. It's like 1 degree.
Right. Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
I love that. So how are you like telling people? Like, is it just a common thing? Like, hi, I'm Richie. I do real estate. Do you have any deals? Like, how do you form these relationships?
You know, I'm not good at social media, but people are watching.
Yeah.
And someone always asks you what you do or what you're doing now.
Right.
You know, things like that. Or I try to just slide it in because they're like, oh, can you work on my car? I'm like, sorry, I'm not doing that anymore. My real estate business is a little busy.
Right.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
you're doing that now?
Well, yeah.
Right, that's the in.
That's your
Right.
segue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So just something. And then again with 101 Financial, right? It's I've been doing it not super long, but long enough that the newer students or instructors, they see that, oh, he used to be a student.
Mhm.
You know, he's doing this now.
Right.
And then they're asking questions.
Right.
Yeah, it's just conversations. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I think I got good at just letting them know
Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah.
No, I think it's super important though. Like, you shouldn't ever be ashamed of what you're doing, right? But at the same time, dude, the more people you tell, right? The more people you tell what you're doing, the more people know about it, then you're gonna eventually, it's gonna come back to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is. So like when we first started, before we kind of had momentum, people were like, well, what are you doing? And it was really awkward. To
Well,
me.
it was, yeah, that's what I mean, you know?
I'm a real estate investor. And I'm like,
They're
what
like,
the
what
heck
is
are
that?
you talking about?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
an investor.
Yeah.
And what does that even mean? You know, so it's like getting comfortable in your own skin, like able to share that with confidence and explain what it is, so that the more people you tell, they're like, oh yeah, she does that. She flips houses. Let's
Yeah.
call her.
Yeah. You got to be the expert to everyone.
Right.
And I struggled with that. I still struggle with that, where people are like, well, you're the expert. Hawkeye tells you all the time, you're the expert. And I'm like, I don't think I am. And it's like, you know what I mean? But you have to own that, because you do know what you know.
They got to think you're the expert.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're going to call you.
Exactly.
Right.
And what's crazy is when people do call you and they ask you the questions and you do know the answers.
Yeah.
And you're like, but it doesn't hit home with you how much knowledge and information you actually have from your
Right.
experience until you have to explain something.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, maybe, okay, I got this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So own your knowledge, I think, is the takeaway, and
Yeah.
share it.
Yeah. And just learn as much as you can along the way.
Right.
You can learn from people that's not in real estate.
100%.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. All the time. all the time. I think I say this frequently, but if you aren't learning, you're dying.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I'm interested to know, can you talk to us about the last deal you did? The last deal that you sold, finished, completed, or whatever it is.
The last deal that we bought and sold, I think we bought it in January and sold it last month.
Okay.
And that's a partnership with Keone.
Yeah.
Nice.
Love that.
So this one was definitely a great deal, not profit-wise, but we did an awesome thing, I believe. The offers did come in higher than asking. You know, it was a long process to acquire the property. We had to deal with renters, have them leave and things like that. But and then the renovations is the renovations, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But when it came time to sell, we did have multiple offers. We got higher than asking with appraisal clauses, all those things.
Right.
We did decide that we're going to take the lower offer because it's a local family that's wanting to buy their first home.
Love that. Yeah.
And it was a struggle while we were in escrow. Appraisals didn't come in.
Yeah.
Some issue came up with the development of that subdivision, things like that. And they at that point, they almost couldn't qualify for the loan because they had to change the numbers.
Oh, okay.
So we wanted to make it work. They worked really hard in trying to buy the property, you know, put their marriage on hold, put their kids on hold because they wanted to get their house first.
Right.
Yeah.
We had the conversations and we decided, you know, we'll give credits. You wouldn't need to use your appraisal clause. We dropped the purchase price and we also paid for all of the closing costs.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. So we got less.
Yeah.
A lot less than what we thought, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Keone and I it was an easy decision for us to make that the right decision to do.
Right.
Dude, that's so powerful and amazing.
Yeah.
You genuinely impacted their life for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
No one else would have done that. Or like, I mean, we would have done it, but
there's some out there. Yeah.
Not a lot of people would have done that. You
Right,
know what I mean?
right.
That is the power of really showcasing who you are as people and why you do real estate.
Yeah.
Before profits before people is a real thing.
Yeah.
To some.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
To some.
And it shouldn't be, because if you're still able to win and then you're able to provide a win for somebody else, that's what it should be about.
Right.
Oh, dude, that's so cool.
Yeah.
We share that same like mission. You know, there's something really special about putting local families, first-time home buyer local families, back into homes.
Yeah.
Because you, especially like below market value, even sometimes, because you know, okay, then now they have instant equity. And they can go and do all these things in the pride of home ownership and what it does for credit and all of this stuff. And then they got to go join 101 Financial.
Yeah.
Well,
we talked about that too. You know, it's like on the financial side, if you like, this relationship doesn't have to start.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we actually got to meet the buyers. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's like if you ever need help or there's something that you need help with finances, I can help you there too.
Yeah. That's so awesome, because you genuinely touch them and they'll remember what you did for them for the rest of their life. And then all you can pray and hope for is that they're able to do that for somebody else.
Yeah.
Pass it on.
Like,
Pay it forward.
What can we do? What can we do? Go and do that for somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, that's the best gift I feel like you can give.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I love that story. It just comes back to like, it's not all about money, right? And there's so much more that you can be filled up with, and I think it's a testament to who you and Keone are as humans, right? Like there's money, and money comes and money goes, but then there's also like this emotional income, right? And it's doing the right thing and giving back to people, and sometimes that's just more important, right? So I mean, we've worked really hard to put ourselves in the positions that we're in now, that we can make those kinds of decisions, right?
Sure.
And so that's the thing that's important to note, is like, you guys have worked your butts off to get to where you're at. So now you can do that, right? So I think that's so cool.
You don't think about that in the beginning because you're not making anything. You don't really know what you're doing.
Right.
But I'm learning through the community that we have, and I'm learning a lot from Keone too about this part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? It's the give back is so much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so much more. They have to go hand in hand. Making the money and giving back, they have to be married together.
Right.
And what you give, I just found it comes back to you in ways you could never even imagine 10 times. You know, you think, oh, I'm going to give and I'm going to get whatever. But then the universe and God's like, actually, you're going to give and I'm going to give you this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
just comes out of left field and you're like, oh, shit. Okay. Yeah. This is actually why it works. And
Totally.
it's amazing. Yeah. That makes my heart happy.
Yeah. Love that.
It made ours
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean you take a loss. You know, we're not in this business to take losses. We're in this business to win and win.
Right.
Totally. So what's the biggest, I'm interested in this because you've been doing this longer than us and you have tons of experience. What is the biggest challenge you've had to overcome so far in your investing career?
Take a guess.
Private money.
That was never a challenge.
It's just city and county
Yeah. Totally.
permits.
Yeah.
Permits. Do you see a solution? Or what would you like to see happen if you could change anything?
Privatize it.
Dude, I've never thought about that.
Privatize
Have
it.
you ever?
No.
Yeah.
I just
Privatize it.
Yeah. Wow. I wonder, has anyone ever brought that up?
I don't know, because no one ever told me about it. I was like, the best way to do it is if it was a company
Yeah.
that people had to perform to keep their job,
Right.
Totally.
privatize it.
Yeah. Wow. Because honestly, I feel like I say that DPP is our biggest nemesis, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just what comes with the territory if you're doing real estate in Hawaii, and their processes and systems and everything about that entity is backwards, I feel like. So
Big time.
What is the longest you've had to wait for a permit?
2 years.
Bruh, no way.
Well, I think that's what scares me the most. It's like, how can you hold on to a property that long and wait for that? That time kills deals.
Time kills deals.
Yeah.
I think that's probably why I'm scared to get into development, because I just can't fathom right now in our investing career why I would want to hold on to something for like 2 years, 18 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I struggle with. 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. It's it would have been faster.
Yeah.
And of course COVID hit too.
Yeah.
And everyone took a beating from
Right.
COVID.
Totally.
So that was part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you asked what the longest was. So.
Yeah.
I know, that's crazy, dude. Okay, what's the quickest?
I know.
Quickest was about 4 months, I believe.
Nice.
That's doable.
It is doable.
Yeah.
Still long.
Yeah.
We all
it is.
have friends on the mainland.
Yeah,
Dude.
I know.
Like,
Permits in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I have friends that like, oh, we walk in that day with our plans and we walk out with a permit.
What? Same day permits.
Oh my gosh.
Mind blown.
I just threw up in my mouth.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
But yeah, that makes sense. Privatize. Then you have to, people are working for performance in order to hold their job, right?
Yep.
And their position. So they're gonna make the processes better, the systems faster. It's the only way that they're gonna be a profitable business.
Right?
Yeah.
Dude.
I think there's a lot of income.
There is.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
Big time.
Yeah.
Totally. But I mean, it's just the whole bigger picture too, right? Hawaii, supply and demand. We have no supply, right? There's just no supply. And so it drives prices up. We're bringing houses back into the market.
Exactly.
We're building that supply, which DPP is not allowing us to do that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so I mean, something has to give. I think it might be our responsibility, and I know we're super small fish, right? Like I feel like the big developers would play a bigger role in this, but to make some noise, you know what I mean? And whatever the option is, I don't know. Maybe it is privatizing.
Hey, I'm all for change wherever it comes from.
Yeah, but I know something has to happen.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So now let's flip that. Like, what is the biggest triumph or like the biggest success you've had on your journey so far?
Of course, there's always successes, right? And just being able to do so many different things in the short time. I think is, of course, one of our successes with the single family rentals, syndications, commercial, still flipping, still lending. But when it comes to like a deal, last year I hit my first unicorn. Right?
Oh yeah.
So that one for me was a really good one. Acquisitions went really well off market. The seller actually, she wrote me like a super cool review.
Nice.
Like awesome. She's able to move on with her life, things like that.
Right.
Contractors performed. Agents performed on
all
the back
things
end.
Aligned.
Yeah, and with the market the way it went,
right,
the return was just bananas.
Yeah.
And it was a 78-day hold.
Wow,
What?
that was a fast one.
That's my record. So that's why I call it my unicorn, because it was the best negotiation I've had.
Yeah.
Best performance from contractors. Best profit ever.
Yeah.
In a short amount of time.
In the shortest timeline. Like all the stars aligned.
Totally.
Yeah.
Did you like go back and really analyze and take an inventory on that deal? Like, what did I do differently? Did I do anything differently? Was I more involved here? Like, what players were involved so that you can try and duplicate it? That was the first one where I had the contractor get a part of the equity.
Nice.
Skin in the game.
Yeah. So we still decided on all of the subs together and all of that. But he was tasked to still run the project. We kept our costs minimal because he wasn't taking any payment, but he was able to get some of that equity after.
Did you have to fund the renovation, or did you both fund the renovation? Like material?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Interesting. Because we have...
we've thrown that around a couple of times. I mean, right? Like it makes...
Well, we're doing one right now.
Yeah.
As far as we worked it out with the contractor where he gets some equity in the deal, and I do feel like it's moving pretty quick. And then he went on vacation. But that's besides the point. I digressed. But would you do that again?
I would.
Yeah,
I would.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like they have more skin in the game, right? Like they care more about how much you sell it for too, right?
Does that contractor not want to work with you anymore if he doesn't get equity? Like, I'm wondering if it starts a ripple effect, because some deals can't hold that, right? There's not enough margin to have tons of equity partners, Yeah. So I'm just wondering if it starts to snowball. Because
we haven't worked with each other again since, I don't know, but I did think about that.
Yeah.
But I also let him know that it's still a possibility.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You kept the door open.
Kept it open, but we also talked about other projects where it's not going to work that way.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah. Why did that come to your mind? Like, hey,
on this one.
Like, how?
Yeah.
I felt that the project wasn't a huge like structural, or we weren't going to take too long, and we had cushion.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did overspend a little bit on the budget, but we were thinking we got to raise our resale price now. And we raised it, but then when it came time to put it on the market, we even listed more than that.
Right.
Yeah.
But then the sell price was just 6-figure crazy bananas over that.
Right. Because the market, the market appreciated so much. We had one like that last year too.
We did. And I feel like now is the best time to be buying, renovating, and selling property, especially in Hawaii. Like, a lot of money is being made, but a lot of lives are being impacted this past year and this year.
Right.
Do you think the market's gonna crash, or because you hear that?
Man, I don't know. I'm not an expert in following the market, like as far as a crash coming or things like that. But I believe there's going to be some type of correction.
Yeah.
Interest rates are already up,
rising,
but it's crazy because it's not. I think it's normalized.
Right.
It was just way too low.
Yeah.
But everyone capitalized on it. Homeowners. Refinancing
as they should have. Smart,
right. And then we as sellers, we can not take advantage of that, but they were driving prices up because you just qualify for more.
Right.
Exactly.
Like, if someone offers us that kind of, and all of the offers are similar, it's like, no, I want you to pay 100,000 less. No, that's not gonna happen.
No,
The bank's gonna be like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, I wish we were in that kind of position to do that, but we're not there yet.
Right.
Yeah.
One day.
One day.
Yeah. We agree. I mean, it's really hard to totally predict, I think, what the market's going to do, but there's going to be some type of correction. I just don't know if it's going to be super drastic.
Right.
You know, like, I feel like Hawaii's a little sheltered from the rest of the upper states. Like, it's drastic up there sometimes, but here it just kind of like levels off, you know?
Yeah, I feel like there's still a massive supply and demand issue here. And if you look historically back, you're like spot on. Like rates are just going back to normal, right? In the 80s, they were in like 16, 20%, right? Yeah. So this is like still historically the rates are still low. So I do feel like there is definitely going to be some kind of a correction, but I don't see anything crazy happening.
I agree.
Yeah. Don't think so. Still not enough houses.
Right.
If you could go back to the beginning, what's one thing you would do differently?
I would start to implement the teams a lot earlier. And not just the outside networking team and everyone that you need for like a buy or sell, or it's the internal team. Someone taking care of the books, someone project managing, the work, so you don't have to work in it. But at the same time, we're taught that, right? Work on your business, not in it.
Right.
But it's still like so many aspects of being in it.
Totally. Well, there's so many moving parts, and it's like, okay, but if I'm working on this over here, all of that's not getting done.
You're right.
I still have to do all of that. I mean, that's critical. You should just start with a personal assistant.
Dude, like somebody that just does all the little things that you don't necessarily love doing.
That's, I think, where I started and I'm like such a fresh at this. Like, we're literally just building our team now, but I started writing down all the tasks that I do. And I'm like, okay, somebody else literally could do this. Right. This is just paperwork. I can teach somebody how to do that. And I found that I was getting so boggled down by all of this admin paperwork stuff that I wasn't able to be in my creative zone, or my, what do they call it? Or whatever. It's like where you're the most productive and you're the most happy and you're the most able to push forward and achieve your dreams. Right. I wasn't there because I'm so boggled down by all this other stuff. And so once I started writing all the things down I do, I was like, all right, that can be done. And you can start delegating that to somebody else. Yeah. So an administrative assistant / personal assistant.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's easy to get caught up in the working on and working in your business. I think inevitably, like, we're in flipping is a very active job, right? Like, we're involved in a lot of moving pieces, and it's hard to let go of that control. I feel like there's definitely a control thing there, but I mean, I don't think that you ever truly will be only working on your business if you're a fix and flipper. I think you can hire some people to help you out with that.
Support you.
But the passive income game, right? That's a totally passive. That's a passive thing. So
I agree.
I think eventually the goal will be to, like what you said, you have so much income streams coming in passively that you're just doing what you want to do flip wise, right? You just do it because you're passionate about it.
How many passive income streams do you have right now?
I don't know. A rental, PML.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, the commercial is passive. Maybe 4 or 5. I mean, I'm still selling parts for my car stuff. I just don't do the work anymore.
Oh, nice.
I mean, I can take orders and put the order out. I still really don't do anything because I can have it shipped directly to them too.
Right.
So I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 different streams of passive.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think, what do they say? Like, the average millionaire has
Well, they say the average millionaire has 7 income streams, but they don't. Not passive.
Right.
Yeah, they don't take that into consideration.
Yeah.
But I think we're like saying, I mean, we long-term rentals, short-term rentals, passively is basically all we have.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There's some others, but no, I mean, that's the goal, right? That's amazing. How many, I want to hear about your commercial property.
So the commercial property, of course, the syndications are commercial properties.
Yeah.
Right.
So those are doing really well. Some of them are multifamily, right? Apartment complexes, shopping centers. And then we own a commercial property with another partner.
Oh, nice.
And it's a medical building. I don't really know because we just own the building, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's like a small clinic with maybe like 6 to 8 doctors' offices inside.
Where is that?
That's in, I think it's Grandview, Missouri.
In Missouri.
Nice.
Yeah.
How did you find that? How do people get into the multifamily space? I think is my question.
Yeah. I'm not there yet. So I don't know because, again, I leverage our network, right? So
It's the best way to do it.
Totally.
You're like, I don't know. It was a great deal. You're good.
Yeah.
I love
So
that.
pretty much that's for all of our syndication commercials. It's been that way.
Yeah.
Like we haven't actively pursued it to go looking for them.
Right.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think in the end it's like those are the best ones too, right?
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, we're actively looking for a passive market in the mainland. Like that's kind of where we're at right now. But if things are brought to us, right, then we'll definitely take a look at it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And so, I mean, we have in our network here in Hawaii, a lot of people invest in KC, in Indiana. So there are opportunities out there. But I feel like for the multifamily commercial space, just because of our price points here in Hawaii, it makes more sense, right, to find a mainland market to be able to invest in those.
You can still do it here. There's just a higher barrier to entry.
Yeah, and I don't think the returns are as good as out there.
That
Totally.
too.
For sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so last question, and what we ask everybody is, what impact do you want to leave with the audience?
You know, it's and I go back to 101 again. It's the CEO, Alan Aquino. He's taught us from early on that you do well by doing good. So, I mean, it's about doing the right thing and giving back. It may sound like something that you cannot do, especially in the beginning, but if you can at least keep that in mind from when you first start, I think you'd be better off when you're in the middle going, you know, when you're actually doing it. Because you have totally a different heart for it. Yeah. Because a lot of us real estate investors, maybe in the beginning you think, I can make a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And it's true, you can, but I don't know what words you use. It's emotional income. Man, that's an awesome thing to say. And because you can get paid different ways.
Right.
Yes.
Sleeping good at night is better than not with a lot of money.
Totally.
Yep.
And if you can bring happiness to someone and you still fulfill yourself, then that's what you do.
Yeah.
That's what you do. It's the wins. The wins, you cannot be the only winner, right? It's I call it a 3-way win because you as a seller, the buyer, and everyone that was in between that. Yeah.
So true.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll just end it with that.
Yeah.
It doesn't get better than that.
No. Seriously though. I feel like that emotional income, you can be miserable with a lot of money.
Right.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of people that have a lot of money and I would never want their life.
That's all they have.
That's all they have.
Yeah.
Right. Like miserable with a lot of money. So I feel like, dude, from the very beginning, going in with that mindset of giving and sharing, I think that's like the best way to start.
Yeah.
And then when you are making that money or whatever it is, right, you're attaining your goal, you're already in that place of giving.
Right.
And dude, we share that. Like, there's just so much more than money. Like, I always say that, but the impact that you leave on people is what they remember you for. Right.
Money is just a tool to be used for good or for bad.
Exactly. Yeah. I think we're all doing this for freedom.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you need money to do that or get there.
Right.
But you can do the right thing along the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
I love that so much. So where can people find you? You're kind of an
I know it. Yeah. Underground, not tons on social media.
Or let me rephrase the question. Do you want to be found?
Yes, of course.
Where can people find you?
Yes. So social media, Instagram and Facebook is the same thing. It's High Property Innovations, HI Property Innovations.
Love it.
And my other Instagram page, you see a little bit more of my personal stuff too. It's DMC Air Suspensions.
Love it.
Yeah. That's how you know he was a car guy.
Yeah. You must have sold air suspensions. Huh?
That was my specialty.
That was your specialty?
Yeah.
Dude.
Cool.
Did you ever do it on motorcycles?
Motorcycles, minivans, luxury cars, trucks.
No way. That's
everything.
sick. So cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on, dude. Super stoked.
This is awesome. Thank you.
Right on.
Thank you.
Don't stop what you're doing.
Right on.
We won't.
Mahalo.
It's all